Okay, so now that we went through the introduction on how to map the structures with the lines, so let's do a real practice here on the charts. So first thing, I'm gonna make sure that my sidebar alerts are on, and you can see that it lights up like on the inside bars. That means that the bar it closed inside the recent bar. So as you can see here, okay, yeah, this indicator is very good and I leave it on all the time. Okay, so the first thing, like I said before, like first thing is like look at the how the market's moving, you see, and then you see you can already, like, without anything, you can already see like how the swings are moving, the swing structure are being created in the market. So right here we have a bullish swing structure after the after price closed above this recent high. So this was now this is the low, and now after price break this high here, now this is the low, and we only know where the high will be when we have a decent pullback. So we will be able to mark the high, but we don't know that yet because it's still just like doing some small movements here. So let's continue. Now we have an internal structure because it did a small structure here. This is more visual, like this is not enough, you know, to map. And you can use your discretion for internals. Like when you see that it's not like a big movement, but like it's still like some movement, then you can mark it as a internal. Okay, so let's keep playing this. Okay, so as of right now, there's nothing. Okay, so now we have a fractal here. As you can see, this candle didn't close above the next the recent candle. So this would be our most recent low, because like if you can see, price on the lower time frame, it would be easier to see, but price came here, pulled back and pushed up. So this is a fractal structure, and now we have this low as our most recent low. So if we get just a wick break below this one, this is gonna be already a chalk. So let's keep playing. Okay, right now we have a chalk here because, as you can see, like you can see on the low here, that is I'm showing exactly how I map this the charts when I get to the computer. So you can see like the lows here, right? Like look at the numbers. That is 8658, and this one is 8650. So this already broke, because sometimes like this one, the low is 8658, and this one will be like 8657, which is like it's barely visible. And that's why I said that you guys can use this this data here to make so you can see, so you can like be sure that it broke below this. So we have that. Let's see, and then we can mark with the chalk there. Oops, wrong one. So this is a 4-hour chalk dark. Okay. All right, so we keep going. I'm not gonna be marking the supply and demand because we're not there yet. But like let's just keep marking our structure so we can focus on that for now. Okay, so as you can see, we got the first signal that price may change because it stopped at a very high probability strong resistance supply. We had a chalk, then it had a pullback to retest these areas here. So it could probably mean that this can be the first signal that we might start getting the bigger pullback. Okay, and it's still if we're counting the internal structure, we still have this the internal structure here and the high, and so this will be the low, and now this will be the high of the internal as well. So just keep in mind that if we get like this already are looking like we're gonna get a bigger pullback, but we need to wait a little more. Okay. Yeah, so right now, so I already would have this as my swing high, right? And let me see, let's keep playing. And yeah, you see, now we would get our internal break to the downside. So sorry for all the, because I used to use a white chart. That's why I have this so many names there. So you see, high of the internal, low, break. Now, okay, once this is broken to the downside, now this will be the high of the internal. And like when we have a decent pullback, this will be someone here will be the, somewhere here will be the low of the internal. So just stay with me, guys. This is some good practice. Like you can see, we have their swing already. And so like if I would explain this on the analysis, I would say that the swing of the 4 hour is bullish, and the internal now turned bearish. So you see, like when we got the break here, now we had the internal turn bearish. So as we continue, you see we would have another internal here. You see how it plays out, because like we would have the internal there, the eyeballs, and this would be the low now. Low, high, after we got a break and a close here, now this is our new high, because after the pullback, boom, this was the most recent high. Okay, now we got a break again, so let's continue. And just remember that this is still our low of the swing, and that's still the high. So this could be just doing like a push and a pullback, and then probably the internal could turn bullish here, come to retest somewhere here, and then we can continue up. But we will only know that after like we got a confirmation. So again, we have another internal here. Our swing low is still protected here. Let me just copy these guys to make it more clean. Oops. Yeah, of course this is not gonna work, right? Let me go back here. Okay, so the same thing, low. We had a decent small structure, then we had this pullback. This is the most recent high, broke again with the body close. This is our high. Okay, so right now, there you see, price is still breaking down the same. We have our internal. And so what happened now? So here now, so we had like a swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing turn bullish. Maybe it just came to retest somewhere here. And like this could be just a pullback. But as you can see, now it broke below the low. So this was a protected low, but now we got a break and a close below. So now our swing is bearish again. So let's mark this for our boss. And this is just one time frame. And like I said before, like on the daily, on the 4 hour, 15, you're gonna use the same type of mapping. And as you start to put them all together, you see that like you start to see the story, like where price is going, why it went all the way up here. Maybe this is like a daily pullback, and it only turned bullish here to come to retest something to mitigate a supply, and then price would continue going down. So you see, like the price, it keeps going and like creating structures and on structures, and you can see that it looks way more clean or more clear for us when we start mapping and seeing like what price is doing, you know. Okay, so now that we have our bearish swing, you see with the body close, the same thing. So what do we need here now? We need to see a decent pullback, because now this is our strong high, and we need to see a decent pullback to know that this is our swing low. So let's keep playing this. This was just a fractal. I don't know why this is here. Okay, so we had a bullish chalk. Let me see here closer. Yeah, this is a very good example. So this was a fractal, right? A fractal bearish structure. But you can see that this last one here, like these three candles didn't break below this. So this is still our high, and this is still our low. And only here that price broke above that one. Now we have a bullish chalk. But as I told you guys before, it needs to be in a place like price needs to be, how can I say, reacting to a very strong demand here, because price could just be making like a small pause, come here, take out liquidity on top of this and continue, and then come here, you know. But this is, I mean, it's still a chalk, but we're not waiting for a reversal. It's like you think about a train, right? Like the train is going. It's not gonna stop and turn in the middle of nowhere. You need to wait for the train to come from this station to a station where it's supposed to stop, to then turn, you know. And in the next lessons, we'll learn about the liquidity and what this is, like what is it doing. I'm not really sure if it's reacting to something here, but yeah, we'll be looking at this later. But right now, let's just put this as a chalk, since we had a break. So this is a bullish chalk, right? 4 hours bullish chalk, okay? Because structure, pullback, push. This is our most recent low, recent high, break with just a wick. This is the first break. We don't need the candle body close, okay? So continuing, let's see what happens. You see? Then it just come here to protest maybe this sell to buy, which we will also learn later, and then to continue down. And even though like we had the chalk here, but still this can be our internal structure as well. Look at that, because this was a decent structure that we can map. So let me just grab these guys, boom, and let me see if, of course that would happen, right? Okay. Still the high. You see like how more clean this is, and how it's not that hard once you start doing this over and over again every day. This is like, as a trader, like the mapping is something that you're gonna do every single day. Like you're gonna go to your charts and see, okay, my swing is still there, was there a break here, and you can set alerts, right? I'm not gonna be able to do that here because of I'm doing bar replay, but you can set alerts on the trend lines. Like once the candle close, like it's gonna alert you that we had a bearish swing. So you don't need to be here all the time. And for each candle here, you're gonna have the time that let's say like we have another 3 hours for this candle to close, for the 4 hour to turn bearish. You have a lot of time. So one of the things about trading is that it's a lot of waiting and patience, and that's why the mindset is the most important thing, because you don't need to stay here and like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss a trade. Once you have a strategy and a rule, like for you to enter trades, you're not gonna be FOMO. You're not gonna be like thinking, am I missing a trade? Should I be watching this all day? No, you know. So like you're gonna have your alerts in place. Once you hit your alerts, then you're gonna like you come to your computer, or maybe you can be studying and doing other stuff, but that's how it goes. So let's continue with the mapping strategy here. Okay, so do we have, yeah, you see, very good example too. So this, like once the body of the candle close below, it can be a small close, it doesn't matter. Like once it close here, this is already a break. So we can map this one here as our internal, this one here as our high, and this was a break. And now this would be the low, the high, and what happened there now? Now we turned the internal turned bullish. You see? And like I said, I'm gonna be saying like I said a lot. Like look at the movements. You see, you can spot these small movements. Like the swings will be like this, and then you can see that the small movements are like small and pauses. And now we have turned bullish here. So where is our low? Now our internal low is here. So if we get enough pullback, then that will be our swing high, and somewhere here will be our swing low. Maybe this one, because it seems like there's another tip too. Usually when we have like a switch of direction on the internal, that most of the time that already means that we're gonna have like you can already mark this as your swing low in this example here, because we're bearish, right? So like when we have this like low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, now we turn bullish. So this could probably mean already that we're gonna start like a deeper pullback somewhere here. It doesn't need to go all the way there. It depends on how bearish the move is. It can just come here and then go. But this is still will be our low, swing low, and that will be our swing high. So let's keep playing. I hope you guys are getting because this concept, because we're gonna be using literally every single day, like when you're doing your analysis. So now we had another. You see, you can mark this, and probably when you get it about the swings, the internals, you're not gonna be marking so much, because then you can mark just like the most recent ones. But this is gonna be a little more messy because we are trying to do like everything now. You see, like high, low, and we can already see that this will be our swing low, because look how deep the pullback is already. What did I do? Let me mark this guy here for dark. Okay, you see, swing high, swing low. Our swing, which is our most important one, is bearish. So even though price may still come here, like you always think that the swing structure is more important than the internal and the fractal. So this could be just to come somewhere here and we'll turn bearish, then for us to continue the move down. So let's keep playing. Okay, again. So now we have this swing high, because this was already a decent pullback, and that it's still our protected low, because the internal is still making higher highs. So if we do have a break and close below this protected low, then our internal will turn bearish. But let's see. Okay, we now have another pushed up. So now we have, I keep doing this thing. So now we had this, you see, boom, high, most recent low, break. Now we have this as a high. And what happened here again? It doesn't matter if this is like, even though it can be this is very narrow and small, it was a decent move for us to set it as an internal structure. Okay, so what happened now? So now we turned our internal bearish. And I'm gonna just put this line here for you guys to see that oops. Let's see. Okay, so like zoom, like sometimes you just need to zoom out and see what's going on, you know. Okay, you see, boom, it can be doing this, or price can just come here, try to break this, and like, and then it can fail and continue up and break this. And like, just always think that the market can do anything. Like, you can have your bias because this is bearish, but always think that it can just stop here, it can break, it can turn, it can do whatever you want. We just react to price action. We're not gonna predict what's gonna happen. So if you, that's one of the things. One of my one of my goals with this course for you is to have the professional trader mentality. Like, nobody will be able to fool you anymore. Oh, I can predict the market. Oh, I know this is going here. No, you don't know. Like, nobody knows. There's so much going on in the market. There's so much going on in price, in the inside news and political, like whatever, that makes price move, that nobody knows. It's so many things that can impact price and where it's going. So you can, like, if someone just make a lucky shot and say, oh, price is gonna go here. Okay, yeah, that I can do that many times too, but it doesn't mean that I know where price is going. Okay, sorry about that. So continuing here. So once we have a candle body close below this low, then what? Then we're gonna have our swing bearish boss. So let's continue playing. Okay, boom. All right, so what happened here? We had a bearish internal and a bearish swing. Why did I just delete that one? I don't know. Okay, and boom. You see, we had a break, the push, pullback. This is the highest number where price came after the pullback. We had a close candle body close below this line and this line. So we now have an internal bearish move and a swing bearish move, because both close below this. All right, so let's continue here. I like to, if you, I don't know about other computers, but if you use Apple and you grab this line and hold shift, you see that every time I hold shift, it straightens the line. This was very important to me because in the beginning I didn't know this, so I would try to make this line, go straight. But if you just hold shift, it's gonna go straight and it's gonna stay in the straight line, as you can see here. So do that. And also another tool, since we were talking about this, I use the magnet here. Like, you can set this magnet, so every time the magnet will magnetize, I don't know how to say it, to the most recent low. You see, it try to fit the most recent low of the candle. So I would suggest you to leave this on. So like, every time you try to get the most recent low here, the line will already kind of glued to it. Okay, so we are almost done here. I think you guys get the sense on how to do this. So let's just play a little more. Okay, yeah, you see, price, it came, I don't know, did it hit it here? Yeah, you see, like, we'll see on the next the next lessons, that price doesn't come here like just because. There's a reason why price came to this number here, and you see why our strategy is so powerful. And like, it actually blew my mind when I started studying price action and studying smart money concept, because like, it makes total sense. All right, yeah, so now we have everything bearish. Since we're already here, right, you see that, like, we had the bearish internal and bearish swing. Price pulled back to this, like, very high probability POI here on the 4-hour. Like, this is like, when you using price action and structure, now both are aligned. Both the internal and the swing is aligned with price action. So you can, like, be sure that, like not sure, I mean, but like you have a higher probability that this move will hold price, and you can be taking shorts from this POI. Let me continue. See, kind of fractal. I'm not gonna this is too small to be internal. I'm just gonna wait for another pullback so we can mark. Oh, I just forgot. You see, when we had this break here, this was our most recent low, and after this pullback, this is our most recent high of our bearish. So you can either leave this as the orange, so you can be checking both, but I change this to the swing dot. So now you see high, low, high. So the swing in turn is bearish. And like I was saying, this is too small to be internal for me. This would be like a fractal. Continuing, you could set this. And another thing, guys, like if you get it, you can get it wrong sometimes, and you see that it doesn't matter too much. You don't need to be like, oh my god, I did it. No, like I said, the most important thing is to be looking at what's going on here. The most important thing is to be looking at the waves, you know. So if you even if you set this as an internal, and then price switches up, and then it's gonna come here, and then it switches bearish again. Like, it doesn't really matter if you mess that up, because you are following order flow, you know. So, okay, now we have that as our high. Boom. You see, like swing, right? Swing structure. There's no enough pullback here yet. Let's zoom this out. You see, like, look at the difference about like this, and this is just a push. There's no enough of a pullback yet for you to set this as our swing low. So let's wait a little more. Let's see if we're gonna have a pullback. And another thing, because like sometimes we say, oh, like price is already extended. That means that because we had a bearish swing boss here, and we already had like this big push. Oh god, because we already had this big push, so we may see that price is already extended. That means like if it just came here, it doesn't need to like pull back here already. But like when price is already super extended like this, it doesn't mean that it needs to start pulling back. It can just continue down. But it's most likely that after a big push like this, somewhere down here, you're gonna like be looking for the reversal of that move. So let's continue playing. So yeah, here, right? If we want to look at the fractal, let's say that price stopped here at a very probable place for a reversal. So here, so we had the like this, we had this pullback, right? And then we had a break below, and this was the most recent low. And let's see, that was, yeah, this, it will probably be like this one. Sometimes the chalk is also kind of confusing, because we can have like this internal, which is the pullback. Let me grab this guy here. So we had this pullback here, and then this push, and now our most recent high like will be kind of like this one here, because this is our inside bar. And sometimes you can go to a lower time frame, and you see more clear like which one is the nearest point in the move. And then we can set this as our bullish chalk. Yeah. And like I said, again, if you get it wrong, sometimes I would like, because I want to make it more clear, instead of just like having the lines going through all these candles. Like, you can just like mark here. If you need to go to a 1 hour, 2 hour to make it more clear, you can just do that. But so now we had the bullish chalk, and this is still our internal low. Let's see what's gonna happen. Did we get a break above that? Yeah, you see, not yet. This is still our strong high on the internal. So let's see. Yeah, like this is not a very big pullback, but you can see that there's a lot of price action inside this. Another very good example, so you can learn how to set your swings. So like once I see that there's so much price action, so much movement inside, it can be ranging as well. But like even though like we didn't get a very deep pullback, but once I see like a pullback like this and like price is kind of ranging inside, I already set this as a swing because like I see a lot of action here. So right now mine low would be here for the swing. So now we had this swing high protected, swing low, weak, low, and that's still our internal, the internal high, because that was like a push, low, high, boom, break. Now that's still our strong internal high. So let's see what's gonna happen. Just this last example, and let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's great for you guys to see this, right? Because price is stuck in between these two zones here. You see, like there's nothing much. Like later on, as we start studying, as we start like doing our analysis, I'm gonna be telling you guys like stay out of the middle and like just take and look for the places on the edges of the movement. Because like right here, you see like that price is just doing whatever it wants, and like you don't want to be messing with this. And if you need more confirmation, what would be the, like let's say you need more confirmation here, what would the confirmation be? So it will be like price turning bullish and coming back to continue, or then price failed to break this high and continue down. Right now we don't have nothing because price came here and it continued just like moving inside this. This can be anything. That can be like a slow week, or this can be like around news in a lower time frame, like on the 15th. If you see this can be just like whatever, like the market is waiting, like indecisive. This is indecisive price action. I don't know if that's a word, but this is just like price waiting for something to happen, right? It's accumulating orders here to then take a bigger action. All right, so now we had this internal turn bullish here. Oh no, we don't know that yet. So let's see how. But right now we know that it turned bullish. This would be their internal low, and let's see. And price could just have gone there to kind of sweep. Yeah, I see again. I think you guys get because this is going from that's going for a long time already. But I think you guys get the idea of how like this mapping works. And you can see, where is it? Just use another one here. So after boom, low, high, low, high. After this break, the pullback went here. What is the lowest number? This one. You see, after the push and the pullback, what is the lowest number on the pullback? Here. Boom. Okay, and then it's gonna continue. So price may come here, boom, and then it can fail. Then it can break the low, come back to retest, and continue the movement down. Like I said, guys, don't think that you're gonna get this right away overnight, because you all know, now I understand and now I know how to do this. Now this is hard. This is not like, trading is not easy. So it's gonna take you some practice, and later on when we've kind of finished our course, I'll go over a video for you guys about practicing creating your analysis, like being very disciplined on like posting your charts so you can get feedback. And like as more as you practice this, I tell you, like the more you practice, you kind of you're gonna avoid so many losses because you already know what price is doing, and you're not gonna be getting in the middle of like nowhere just because you have FOMO and you don't know what to do. Like I'll give you 100% like what you need to do to enter trades, to do your mapping, to wait for the right area, to not take low probability trades. That's what nobody is showing you guys, and I believe that's the only way for you to become successful. That was the only way that made me changing how I was trading before, and that was the breakthrough on my trading. So, all right, guys. So this was a very good practice on mapping. I think for now on, you guys can look at this video once or twice and go over as many times as you want. But I think you guys already have the idea. You can still steal my my colors, and we can go and be practicing more. So hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions. You can contact me anytime. I'll be able to be answering your questions, and I'll see you next.